Hey, what's up guys, Harris here, and the Nexus 6 is an awesome phone, stock Android and a big beautiful screen, but there are a few things about it that might make me think of other phones first in terms of what I want to buy. So I'm going to share some things, 6 things to be exact, about the Nexus 6 that would make me want to consider another phone. So starting out would be the biggest reason, literally, and it's most obvious I think, is just at the size. Now yes, you do get a big beautiful screen with this, but this is just a humongous phone. Now I know some people trade that off for the bigger screen, and I know it is because of the bigger screen, but it is a giant phone. I mean, look at this. You can hide a Galaxy S5 behind the Nexus 6, and behind that an iPhone 6, and behind, oh, never mind, nothing behind that. But anyway, the Nexus 6 is just a really big phone, and doesn't even fit in all of my pockets. Coming in at number 2 would be the price. I know this isn't completely fair because it's about the same price as many other flagships. However, you can still get the Nexus 5 and the OnePlus One for about half the price of this Nexus 6. So there's a lot of great phones out there that are cheaper than this. Even the Moto X, which is quite similar to this but more compact, is what, $150 cheaper, I believe. So yes, it is about the same price as an iPhone or a Galaxy or an HTC One M8. However, it is the first Nexus phone I've seen in a while with a high price tag. Coming in at number 3 would be the lack of expandability. Now I'm bringing out my Galaxy S5 again because the Galaxy S5 has a removable battery and an expandable micro SD card slot up to 128 gigabytes. So if your battery were to die, you pop in a new battery. If you run out of storage, you get a new SD card for very cheap. This is something that Nexuses have never really had, and something that's always been very disappointing. If you're something like the Galaxy S5 or even the HTC One M8 has the expandable SD card slot, and a lot of other phones nowadays. So basically, the Nexus and the iPhones are one of the few phones nowadays that don't have expandable storage or removable batteries. Coming in at number 4 would be the battery. Now don't get me wrong, the battery life on here isn't bad. You'll get through a full day with it. However, if you haven't noticed, this is a giant phone with a giant battery, and something that has this big of a battery, you'd expect something like the iPhone 6 Plus or the Galaxy Note 3, you would expect to have probably roughly 2-day battery life, but no, this has a Quad HD screen, which in my opinion is just a bit gimmicky. You're getting a little bit sharper screen, but nothing you're really going to notice in everyday use, if ever, especially if content isn't optimized for it. So really that screen is just draining the battery more, something I think is definitely unnecessary. So you get a decent battery here, but it could be much better, and something like the iPhone 6 Plus is really miles away from this guy in terms of battery life, so definitely disappointing just because of that Quad HD screen draining it more than it could with a 1080p screen. Coming in at number 5 would be the camera. Now cameras have always been a bit of a weak point on Nexuses, and not to say, again, like the battery life, that this is bad. It does have a good camera, but I'm just saying that there are certainly much better options on the market, like the Galaxy Note 4 and the iPhone 6 Plus that feature either higher resolution sensors, better quality, more realistic, better sharpness, whatever it may be. I've just found that the camera on here is okay. A lot of times it messes up the white balance, or it doesn't get the right exposure, and things just don't really look the way I want. So it's definitely a good camera. I don't think you'll be disappointed, but there are better camera phones on the market. And last but not least, for number 6 would be no special features. Again, I'm pulling out my Galaxy S5 because this features an IR blaster at the top for controlling your media center from your phone as a remote, and also features a water and dust resistant design. Those are 2 simple features that Nexus 6 doesn't have. It doesn't really have any super wow features or anything that really you would say, well, the Nexus 6 has this, that the other phone doesn't. Galaxy S5 water resistant design, that's something cool. IR blaster, that's something nice. The Nexus 6 just doesn't really have many standout features that are different than a lot of other phones. So yeah, so those are 6 things that I think would make me consider another phone over the Nexus 6. It's a great phone, I love it, and I will be making my full review soon, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I hope you guys did enjoy, and if you did, make sure you show me by hitting that like button and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.